Hello, and welcome to the dungeon. I'm your host, Rob. I figured after I did my follow-up video that I might as well talk about my Princess Apocalypse campaign a bit. So why not, right? Anyways, as I mentioned in that video, I'm trying once again my luck with a Paladin Sorcerer multi-class. I tried playing this character in a different campaign. It was Dungeon Mad Mage, but I think the DM just got tired of running it, so we only got to level 7, and considering we started at level 5, that's not a lot. So I figured let's give it another chance. Princess Apocalypse is supposed to go all the way to 15, so that at least will give me a good run with this character. My plan is to go 6 levels of Paladin, all the rest of the way Sorcerer. So I'm going Oath of Conquest Paladin with Divine Soul Sorcerer, so that I can do things like quicken cast Spirit Guardians and stuff. Also, Oath of Conquest gives me Spiritual Weapon on the spell list as well, which is, I could have gotten it from Cleric, but now that's one less spell that I was going to pick up from Cleric / Sorcerer, and can now take this one instead, which I kind of like, because one of the things I'm usually thinking about when I make a character is, what is my action economy going to be like? What am I doing with my attacks or spell casting options? What am I doing with my action, my bonus action, my reaction, etc.? And so I really like a lot of skills like, say, Polearm Mastery, because I can use my reaction when somebody comes into my reach. I can use my bonus action to smack them with the butt end of the polearm, etc. But for this character, because I was planning on taking the 6 levels of Paladin, and because I wanted to have a decent charisma and a decent strength, it really meant I was going to have a hard time trying to fit in a bunch of feats like Polearm Mastery, Great Weapon Mastery, some of these other things that I would normally like to go for. And it was just a lot easier to just make a sword and board Paladin. And usually those kind of characters, they kind of start suffering because it's like, what am I doing with my bonus action then? What am I going to do with a reaction? You just don't have a lot of those options, right? But because I was planning on going Sorcerer, I also knew I wanted to quicken cast a lot of things, and that might be using a bonus action a lot. And so, while I want to have something I can do with my bonus action, I don't want to have like 7 different things that all use a bonus action, and then it's just this giant log jam trying to, use my one bonus action split between like 7 different options, right? So being able to quicken cast something, I thought that would be, a relatively good option sometimes, right? But it's not the kind of thing you're going to do every round. So having something like Spiritual Weapon available at level 5, that would at least be a pretty good option for me. I'd then have extra attack by 5, and I'd have a bonus action where I could cast Spiritual Weapon as well. And, attack with it, right? Now, I'm going to do that every fight. Obviously not. I'm not going to have spell slots for that, at least not at low level. But it is a good, solid option. And it's something where I don't have to feel bad that, like, oh, yeah, I really want to kind of fit this in. Because it's like, well, I got Spiritual Weapon. As far as reaction, I will have Sorcerer spells. So things like Counter Spell can be like, that's just going to be crucial anyway. But depending, I think our DM said no Silvery Barbs. So I won't have that. But, I'll have things like Absorb Elements and Shield and other defensive mechanisms I can use. So I feel pretty comfortable that my character isn't going to suffer too much from poor action economy. Also, the fact that we actually have a wizard in our party really frees me up to kind of focus more on specific spells that I want to take. Because one problem you sometimes have with Divine Soul Sorcerer is that because you have the entire Sorcerer spell list available and the entire Cleric spell list available, but you're still a Sorcerer with a limited number of spells known, it means that sometimes you just can't get everything you want. You kind of have to pick what you want to do and just go with it, which in my opinion is just good advice for a sorcerer anyway. But having a wizard means that he can take a lot of utility stuff. He's going to have ritual casting, and a lot of those more niche spells can be left to him, which in my opinion is just a great thing, right? So other than my Paladin Sorcerer, which so far is just a Paladin, no Sorcerer yet. We have me, we have the Wizard, we have a Bard, and we have a Samurai Fighter. It's a College of eloquence bard. And the fighter, I'm actually pretty excited for because my friend Mike is playing him. But he is doing a build that I once talked about on my YouTube channel. I don't know if he got it from me or if he just thought of it on his own or saw it online or whatever. But basically the idea was you take a character of some sort of elven ancestry. So you can take elven accuracy. You use fighting spirit to give yourself advantage on all your attacks that round. And then elven accuracy turns that into super advantage. And then you combine that with sharpshooter to just light people up with your bow. Probably action surging as well so that you can get more attacks that round. All of those with advantage. And yeah, you just do a truckload of damage. And that's basically the build. Sharpshooter plus elven accuracy plus fighting spirit to give yourself advantage. And, you know, I expect him to do huge amounts of damage as the campaign progresses. Right now, we're only level 4, so he doesn't even have extra attack yet. But, you know, once you start getting to like 11 plus, which this campaign should go to, assuming we don't die before that or the DM doesn't quit, you know, 3 attacks around, action surging, you get 6, all with advantage, each one doing plus 10 damage from sharpshooter. You can pile up some crazy amounts of damage with that. So I'm excited for him, mostly because I already wanted to play that character at some point myself and just never had the opportunity to do so, really. So like I said, we've got the samurai, we've got a bard, we've got myself, and we've got a wizard. So we don't really have a lot of healing, which is another reason why going Divine Soul Sorcerer and maybe picking up a couple of the better healing spells is not a bad option. And then between, like the bard has like Healing Word and a couple of others as well. So between me and the bard, hopefully we'll be able to, you know, kind of handle that field. I guess we'll find out. So far, though, it's been pretty rough. So we started out at level 2. We had a bunch of things we could investigate. We've been kind of going all over the place. We've got some like missing people. But we also had our first run-in with a bunch of fire priest guys, and they kind of kicked our butts. In fact, they killed me and the bard, and the party had to load us into the cart, which we'd bought earlier, and drag us back to town and get us resurrected. Again, let's raise dead, which basically took all the money that the party had been saving up. I was willing to just let my character go. I was like, I guess I'll just make a new character. They're like, no. We can save you. We can save you. We got enough to raise dead for both of you. I'm like, I'll just make a new character. They're like, no, don't. Keep your character. I'm like, fine, whatever. So anyways, this encounter went horribly wrong. The funny thing is, though, we tried playing Princess of the Apocalypse once before, and we had the same encounter, which is actually a random encounter. So not great. And I remember these guys from before, because basically they all just cast Fireball on us, and the rest of them charged us and tried to melee us to death. And we were level 4 at that point, and I think that almost resulted in a TPK. I remember I was playing a wizard, and one of the only reasons our party lived is because I used Fog Cloud. We didn't even, like I said, we were 4th level, so I don't have Counterspell. We don't have 3rd level spells yet. But I used Fog Cloud to try to block their line of sight, and the druid cast Spike Growth, and a bunch of them charged through the Fog Cloud to try to kill us. But because of the Spike Growth, they were half dead by the time they got to us. So that ended up being kind of crucial to us winning. Plus, I survived because of Absorb Elements, was the only reason my wizard didn't die immediately. But I remembered that fight where almost everybody died except for me and the druid. And so when it happened this time around, I was like, are these the same guys? Well, we got wrecked by these guys the first time around, and we were level 4. We're only level 3 right now. I'm like, these can't be the same guys. Sure enough, I decided to go charging at them with my riding horse, because I was like, you know, if they're gonna fireball the party and we're all grouped together, we're just dead. We need to spread out. And I'm a paladin. I do need to get to the front lines, so I'm just gonna use my riding horse. I'm gonna charge at them. I don't have fine steed yet, right? I'm only level 3. So I spent some gold and bought a riding horse. There's no point buying a war horse because I'm just gonna get fine steed at level 5, right? So I go charging towards them. They fireball me and half of their own party members, half their own group. And of course, I managed to make my saving throw, which was a fluke because I have I think I have 8 dexterity or 10, so it's not great. But I actually managed to make my saving throw because I rolled like a 19 or something like that. So I'm not dead yet. And I used lay hands on myself for my action instead of attacking because I'm almost dead. Ended up getting killed anyway, though. Not getting knocked unconscious, literally dying. And so did the bard, like I said. But the wizard and the samurai managed to finish them off basically by just kiting people around. And the samurai's a wood elf, so he's got the 35 feet of movement instead of only 30. And that ended up being a big deal because he could like move back and shoot. And then if they charge, they can get up to him, but now they can't attack. So they'd get a reaction attack when he like moves away, but then he could just move back, shoot a couple times. Mostly once, I guess. Just once because he doesn't want to attack. And then they'd run up to him. But like I said, because he's always outdistancing them, they'd either have to like move and not get there and then throw like a javelin or something, or they'd have to charge. And then all they're getting is their reaction. And he's attacking with, hitting a lot harder than they are. So in the end, they managed to win. But after the fight, I was like, man, we nearly had a TPK against these guys this time. We fought the same random encounter the last time we tried playing this adventure, and we had a TPK that time. And then I remembered talking to the dungeon master for this particular campaign, and he told me that his first time ever DMing, he'd run Prince of the Apocalypse on roll 20 with a bunch of people he didn't know before. But that game ended in a TPK. And I was like, maybe it's the adventure, because I've never played it other than with him. Or maybe there's an issue here with you because we keep wiping every party you play this game with. But who knows? Either way, though, our party's still alive. We managed to get to level 4 since then. And right now we're in a dungeon or it's like a monastery trying to kill a bunch of earth cultists. I don't know. It's all crazy elemental cultists. That's all I know. It's kind of based on the old Temple of Elemental Evil, but kind of not, I guess, as well. Who knows? Either way, it's been kind of fun, but also very frustrating when we just keep getting wrecked every time we fight something. This is why I hate like extremely low levels. Everything is just, one bad dice roll and your character just dies. In this case, though, I just want to point out the difference in power level between like levels 4 and 5 is pretty huge, right? Getting third level spells, getting multi-attack, these things are it's not like going from, say, 3 to 4, where you're getting maybe an extra spell slot, you're getting an extra hit die. I'm not saying that's nothing, but the difference between 4 and 5 is just so much bigger. But then the difference between 3 and 5 is even bigger still. Just saying. Anyway, it was still a lot of fun. We're still going with the campaign. So hopefully we'll be playing again this weekend, and I might have something more to talk about. But mostly I just wanted to kind of talk about my character in general. If he can get to level 7 and start getting sorcerer spells, and then get even higher from that, then that'll be nice. I was really tempted to go 2 paladin just to get smite and, fighting styles, stuff like that. And then go 1 level of sorcerer and then go to 6 paladin from there, just so I could add things like shield and absorb elements, which probably would have saved me in that fight if I would have done it. But in the end, I was like, you know what? I just want to get extra attack and get aura of protection as soon as possible. My character is a half-elf, and I took the Fey-touched ancestry feat. So, Fey-touched feat. So I do have Misty Step once a day for free. And what was the other spell I took? I can't remember anymore. Was it a shield, maybe? Maybe it was shield. I think I might have taken shield once a day for free. Either way, it's pretty handy to have, and I like that it could give me some extra movement, but it hasn't really had a chance to shine too much. Oh no, I haven't taken it yet because I haven't even. Oh, I did. I took it at level 4. That's right. That's why it hasn't had a chance to shine too much yet because we've barely done anything with it. We got to level 4 and then I picked it. So I'm sitting at like 16 strength and 18 charisma. I'm planning on more pumping my strength, I think, in the future. But spell save DC and my aura protection are both charisma reliant. So I kind of feel like I need both. Finding like a belted giant strength or something would be really nice, actually, especially since our fighter is a dex fighter, so I wouldn't have to worry about him needing it more. That would free me up from a few ASIs. It'd be very nice. Either way, though, it's been fun so far, and I'm excited to see what the character could do if we can get to, mid and high levels, just because this was a character I tried to play before, and just when it felt like he was starting to get the pieces he needed, that's when the campaign ended. Which, that happens sometimes. It's not the end of the world. But that's one of the reasons I was kind of excited to try him out a second time and just be like, well, let's see how it goes this time. Maybe I'll have better luck. Anyways, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, leave me your comments in the comment section. I still read every single comment. I haven't really been very active on my channel lately. I know. Part of this is because, I'll just get really honest about this for a bit. I haven't actually played, I've kind of wanted to move to 5.5, but I haven't really played any 5.5 yet because none of my group wanted to move with me. Now, I have been thinking of playing like Roll20 or the one guy, Paul, who plays the wizard in our Prince of the Apocalypse campaign. He plays in a store every week, although you have to pay for that. But and they're using 5.5. And so I've kind of thought about doing some of those things. The problem is, I could do videos about 5.5 anyway, but it just doesn't feel very genuine or honest to start making a bunch of build videos for a game I haven't actually played. You know what I mean? And yes, I could, just theory craft things and stuff. But at the end of the day, I theory craft a lot of stuff in 5th edition, but I also play 5th edition. And so when you see how things operate, you have a much better idea. When you just read it and you haven't seen it in practice, you could misread it. You could not understand some of the rules around it. And like I said, to me, mostly, because I could just watch other people's videos, but that just doesn't feel honest either, right? I want to give my opinion on things that I've actually experienced and played. And if I haven't played the system, it just doesn't feel very authentic to be telling people, oh, you should do this and this and this, right? And so that's one reason I haven't done any 5.5 videos yet, because I just haven't started playing 5.5. And yes, I did buy the Player's Handbook, and I think I had this expectation that when 5.5 came out, most people were just kind of going to gravitate to 5.5, obviously. But not only has my own group not really done that, a lot of people online just haven't either, from what I'm seeing. And the new edition hasn't sold particularly well. It doesn't help that Wizard of the Coast has more scandals than they have source books at this point. So that, not a great sign either. And every week it turns out that, they're sticking their foot in their mouth with something else, So there is that too. And part of it too is that I'm still just having fun with 5th edition. And so, I Salt Marsh campaign is 5th edition. Prince of Apocalypse, we're doing 5th edition. I think maybe if there was some 5.5 adventures, that maybe we could pick up one of those books and then start playing with that. But a lot of my players in general, they just don't really feel like spending a bunch of money on Wizard of the Coast books. And I can't really say that I blame them. I think some of them it's more about the money. Some of them it's more of a principled stand that they're still mad about the OGL and all the other scandals that have happened, which I get as well, So what do? I don't blame anybody who decides they don't want to support Wizards of the Coast for whatever reason it is. That's your money. If you want to spend it on their stuff, you can. And if you don't want to, that's also your choice. There is no wrong choice there. It's your money and it's your choice. So whatever choice you make is the right choice, in my opinion. Anyways, that's one of the reasons I haven't made a lot of 5.5 videos, is just because I haven't started playing it at all, really, right? And then, like I said, it just doesn't feel very authentic or genuine to make videos telling people, different advice or suggestions for a game that I'm not actually playing. And so I just haven't really wanted to do that. I still like making videos about 5th edition stuff. I also want to do some more reviews for different game systems stuff, because we've also played a couple other games lately. And I recently just bought on Amazon the rule book for Night's Black Agents, I think is what it's called, or Night's Dark Agents, Night's Black Agents, I think is what it is, which is basically espionage thriller with vampires. Although I've heard you can leave the vampires out, because my plan is to run like an espionage thriller campaign. I might do a future campaign using that game system as well with vampires, but the one I had in mind, I had this idea for a campaign for quite some time, but I didn't have a game system to run it in. And I kept looking at other game systems I'd played, thinking maybe I could adapt that or adapt this. But nothing really fit quite right. And I was like, I just need an actual tabletop, like spy espionage system to run this game in. And that's so I started doing some research, found the one that a lot of people seemed to think was really good, and so I decided to go with it. I'll just give you the basic intro for the campaign. This won't really contain any spoilers. Most of my players already know that this is going to be the setup. But the basic idea is my players are going to wake up during a storm. One of them is going to wake up, probably whoever has the highest health score, body score, whatever they use. And he's in like a hospital during like a blackout. There's like this massive thunder, lightning storm outside. He has no memory of who he is or anything personal about his life. All he knows is he has this like number tattooed like across his heart. And that's the start of the game. And none of the players are going to know who they are. They're going to have to discover some of that stuff as they go. I kind of wanted to have like a mashup of Bourne Identity with like Mission Impossible with a bit of James Bond stuff thrown in as well. And then just a bunch of my own weird ideas all mixed in. And I just thought that'd be a cool way to start the game. The players have to try to get out of wherever they are, figure out who they are, and put all the pieces together while also trying to, stay on the run from like retrieval teams that are trying to either capture them or kill them or whatever. And I just thought it'd be a great idea to start the campaign, right? The problem was I didn't really have anywhere to go from there. I just had this idea of how to start, and I didn't have a story. I had an opening sequence, but I didn't have a story. But then I thought of the story. So then I was like, man, I really just want to run this game, and I need to find the game system to do it with. So I'm going to give that a shot. And I'll probably make some videos talk about that campaign as well. Maybe do a review of Night's Black Agents, assuming that's what it's actually called. I can't remember for sure. But either way, I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. I don't know how long it's going to be before I can run the game, because we're already doing like Prince of the Apocalypse, Saltmarsh, and then Shadowrun on like every other week kind of thing. And I have 2 players in particular that I really want to be in this campaign, because the one guy, like, he loves this kind of stuff already, so I definitely want him in. And then when I mentioned it casually in front of some of the other players, this other guy was like super interested. He's like, oh man, I've always wanted to play a game like that. And he got all excited. Problem is, their work schedules do not overlap at all. So when one guy has time off, the other one's always at work, and vice versa, right? So I'm like, I need to find a time where I can get both players in my campaign. So it might be a while before that happens. But either way, that's fine. That gives me a chance to like learn the rules and figure out what I'm doing with the game and stuff. But I'll probably do some videos about that too. But anyways, this is a huge aside that had nothing to do actually with the original idea for the video. But whatever. It is what it is. But anyways, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Leave me your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear comments about Night's Black Agents or other spy game systems that you might have tried. I'd also love to hear your ideas on Prince of the Apocalypse and whether or not my character will ever make it past 7th level. Because right now it's looking kind of touchy to see if he even gets that far. I might not even get as high as the first character. Although he did start at level 5. We haven't even gotten to 5 yet. So that was a major advantage in his case. But anyways, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Bye.